And welcome back to the Business Spotlight. Patrick Dewar here with Kimberly Doom of Lloyd, Ward & Associates, an attorney firm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area representing, essentially serving Texas. Kimberly, this time, I want to get into how people can connect to you. We know you as the boutique. We see that you specialize in family law and that you are really good in that area and really good for your clients because you've been there, you've done that. How does somebody connect to you? And what's the process of the engagement?
They can connect to me by giving us a call. The phone number is 972-361-0036. They can also go to lloydward.com and find the number there or email. But generally what happens is they give us a call. They can speak to me just preliminarily on the phone, gets a feel for things. They make an appointment, and really the meat of the matter is when we're face to face. And they tell me the situation, and I listen to them, and we just kind of talk, and they tell me kind of where they are. And it really helps me gauge where they are mentally, legally, that kind of thing. And then I explain the process to them, because it is very scary, but once you kind of know the process and what to expect, what the expectations are, it's much less scary. And then we start proceeding accordingly.
Very good. So you're dealing with somebody that's been offended typically. Would that be about right?
Well, maybe.
I think of anything from, everything except maybe business law where there's a contract involved, right? Where you're getting one set. But when you're talking about a separation or divorce or something of that nature, that's an emotionally charged event.
Right.
There's somebody's offended.
Yes.
Typically.
Yes.
You know, they sit down with you. They have their consultation. You let them know what some of the steps are. How long is that process now for that to begin and maybe eventually to get a court date? Is it very long?
Well, it depends on the circumstances, because the minimum number of days it can take to get divorced is 60 days from the date you file the petition. But it rarely happens on the 61st day that you file and prove up a divorce. Every case is different, and your needs may be different. Are you in a situation where you need temporary help? Is someone in the home that won't leave? Do you need support right away? Do we need to go see the judge and have the judge make a decision on what it will look like until we do make this final? Will you have to go to trial? There's a number of things that we have to go through that I have to hear from my clients and ask them questions so that I can ascertain where they are and how to proceed. How
complicated is the child scenario? When children are involved, how much of that gets in? How big of a piece of that, of the puzzle, is that?
Well, if there are children involved, it's absolutely huge. There are so many different alternatives. They can pursue different avenues, and sometimes you have to have a hearing right away, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes mediation is involved where there's a third party and you go and you just try to hammer it out. And I really encourage that. I call it getting a custom home versus a track home. If you go the mediation route, you can really carve it and make it say what you want. If you go the route where you have to go talk to the judge, you're going to get the custom home, where that's what everybody gets. It's really not, it's track home, it's not custom to you. So if you want some control and you want to do it so that it looks like what fits your family, then either mediation or some kind of negotiation is the way to go.
So Lloyd Ward, it sounds like, are they pretty much specialists at negotiation and really getting to know what their client is trying to do?
Absolutely, because I think that's where your money is best spent, trying to figure out what you want, what they want, what middle ground that you have that's common, where you differ, and how you can come together on those differences before you have to go have a judge decide how you're going to come together on the differences.
Because is it true that in a lot of the, like divorce and other things, that so much of the control really is in the hands of the main people that are in the contract or agreement? I'm thinking, you know, if it's a divorce, then you got your husband, your wife, and they're there. Much of that can be settled here. It doesn't have to have the state shackles on it, does it?
That's exactly right. You can really make it look like something that's a custom home. That's my analogy I love to use because people understand that. You can make it look like what you want it to look like, and come to an agreement so that it works for your family. Every family is different, and even though you're going to be a separate family, you're still going to have kids together, and you're still going to be a family, and you have to work together.
After the divorce, how involved do you stay typically with your clients? And the reason why I ask this is because I know how involved my attorney was. It took us 10 years of different kinds of continually adjusting because things were life changes.
Right. Well, I like to keep in touch with my clients because I'm very personally involved. I want to know the backstory.
Right.
I knew the front story. I want to see them succeed and do well. And you can make adjustments. As long as you both agree, you can make adjustments. But when someone doesn't agree, that's when I may have to get involved again. So it just depends on the family and how well they can adjust and cope and tweak to make things fit. Every time you tweak, you don't have to go back to court.
If you were talking to I want to say a couple that they know they're going down that road, what are 2 or 3 things you would tell them to really get in order before you even sat down with the attorney?
Wow. I would tell them to know what their expenses are, what their assets are, what direction they want to go, what they want it to look like. In their perfect world of this imperfect divorce, what's that going to look like, and how can we accomplish that? And even the most contentious divorces a lot of times have common ground, and let's find that common ground and use that as a base to work from.
Wow. I know that as we're wrapping up today's show, Lloyd Ward & Associates, I've met the group, that I met the owner, and I've known Kimberly now for a little over a year. I've seen her work with a number of friends of mine, and just the way that her integrity is something that I've been real impressed with. We always call her the Doominator just because it makes fun of her last name, but I'm sure that there are a lot of clients that she served that their opponents probably felt that way. So I'm thankful for that. Visit Lloyd Ward & Associates at lloydward.com. Give Kimberly a call. If you're in that situation, you need a good attorney. I'm really thrilled with what I see in her. This is the Business Spotlight. You tell your story to the marketplace and abroad. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.